All right, good evening, everyone. We are coming back. See, we've got a quorum. In fact, I think we've got everybody here. Welcome, everyone. We are going to call to order this study session on the Parks Maintenance and Capital Funding, And let's see here. Tony, I guess we need to call roll again, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that.
Kamei? Here. Campos?
Present.
Salas?
Here.
Cohen? Here. Ortiz?
Present.
Mulcahy?
Here.
Dwan?
Here.
Candelas?
Here.
Casey? Foley? Here. Mahan?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Great, thank you. Okay, we're going to start with a presentation, fairly lengthy presentation, I understand it, from our Parks Department, and then we'll go to public comment, and then, actually, I'm sorry, it's a study session. We'll do the staff presentation, questions and comments from the council. There's no action item. We'll close with public comment, and then we will adjourn. John, all yours.
Thank you, Mayor. John Cicerella, I'm the Director of Parks, Recreation, Neighborhood Services. Next to me, Raymond Cosentino. He is the Deputy Director for our Capital Division. To his left, Avi Otam, our Deputy Director for the Parks Division. To his left, Tori O'Reilly, who is the Division Manager for our Park Maintenance. Directly behind her, Sarah Sellers, the Division Manager for our Capital Division. And right next to Sarah is Pamela Velasco. She is our Capital Budget Coordinator. And I give an honorable mention to Angel Rios, your Deputy City Manager, who 7 or 8 years ago was the Parks Director and handed it off to me. So he's very familiar with this. I also didn't have the Columbus Park item going for a couple hours on my bingo card, so I'm going to try to speed up on this presentation because it is a bit long. I do want to, though, thank you for something that was a unique experience for us today, which is we have 2 items on this city council, Columbus Park and this item, and there were press conferences about both of them. So thank you, Councilman Ortiz, and thank you, Mayor. That's a first for us, so we feel honored. Okay, let's get started. So what we're going to try to get through here is an understanding of the funding, which sometimes can be complicated. We hope you'll leave with a renewed perspective on our funding and maintenance challenges. We hope you'll gain insight into how we compare to other park systems, and then learn about what is in our future. How can we improve? What can we do? So let's start in the beginning, if you will, that parks matter, and they matter a lot. Even in the Columbus Park conversation, you can hear it. Even people who are worried about what we're going to do around homeless issues at Columbus Park, you can still hear they care for our park. They have environmental benefits, of course. The trees and grass clean our air. They cool our streets and our neighborhoods. Of course, being in a park is healthy both mentally and emotionally, but also you can be physically active in parks and take advantage of that, connect with nature. Because all these things are happening in parks, parks are great places for community space, places where people gather, meet each other, build friendships, even lifelong friendships. And they're good for the economy. They're good for property values. Events in them can help local businesses. Good parks can bring tourism into a city. All these things add up to what our vision actually is from our Activate San Jose guiding principles: healthy communities that inspire belonging. If we accomplish this, I think our communities get this. They want to belong in their parks. They want to be in their parks. They tell us about it all the time. One of my favorite things to do as a director is to cut a ribbon on a new park. And the things that people say and how happy they are and how excited they are to finally have this in their neighborhood, or even if it's just an improvement of an existing park or an amenity in a park, just to have it back. But they also sometimes get angry, and they're upset because we're not doing enough of a good job taking care of it. And one of the things I've learned as a park director is not to sort of take the anger personally. It's an expression of their love for the park. It's an expression that they care. So I think when we run into polling results and things like that, we're going to talk about that later in the conversation. I am certain that San Jose residents love their parks. The issue is bridging the gap between where we are today and getting them to a place where we can all work together to improve our parks. So we'll move on quickly to our park system as it stands today. We have 200 neighborhood parks, 10 regional parks, over 65 miles of trails. Measure P, which we mentioned in the previous presentation at Columbus Park, we're finally spending the rest of Measure P. That's a 25-year-old bond measure. This is the last bit of money. It was $228 million then. It did 69 products across the city, parks, trails, 9 community centers. It was a great amount of improvement across the system. Our thoughts are often guided by how we are planning documents. So one of them is a green print, and we don't talk that much about the green print lately with the council, but the green print is our addendum to the general plan that says, what are we going to do in the park system? And you'll notice that the green print was updated or developed in the year 2000. That's the same year as the bond, and that's why it was developed, in order to figure out a way to help improve the park system in a holistic manner. It was updated in 2009. It has not been updated since then, but I'm going to get back to the green print a little later. We also have our strategic plan, Activate SJ, as I mentioned before. These set our 20-year goals. We did a report out to the council in the last, I think, 6 months on the last 5 years. But it's a lot of benchmarks about how we operate. It's what we do, whereas the green print is really what we build. And then the future. We're thinking, and we'll talk more about this as we get down into the presentation, of a park master plan that would look at the whole city in a more holistic way. Just to touch base on our guiding principles, the 5 are stewardship. We take care of what we have and invest for the future. And it really means we want to have well-maintained parks, right? Well-maintained structures. These apply to everything we do in PRNS. We're only going to be talking about park maintenance and park capital today. Nature, obviously, is a big part of what we do in parks. Preserve that nature and promote those natural areas for people to use. Equity and access. We want people, everybody, to be able to use parks, to be able to access parks, to have parks close enough to them that it's not a burden to get to them or use them, and that they're taken care of. We want to create identity. Identity in a park can be the neighborhood, or it can reflect the larger city or community. All of these things together get us to the last one on that list, which is public life, which is our ultimate goal, and we just talked about it in the vision, belonging in public life. That's where you see yourself in the community. And a great example of this is Emma Prush when it comes to public life. If you were out and about, which I know some of you were, on Sunday, and you came through Viva Kai and you visited Emma Prush Park, we had a big event going on there connected to Viva Kai, and if you wandered over into the park itself, you would have seen a very big event going on there. And it wasn't a planned event, it's just a lot of people enjoying a really big park that has wonderful amenities. It has all-inclusive amenities, it has lots of playgrounds, it has farm animals, it has nature, it has all these wonderful things. So it's a great example of when it all works together the right way. So let's talk about how parks are funded. I'll start with the budget overview. This is just our full PRNS budget. So you can see it broken down by division there. So $183 million in this operating year to everything that PRNS does. You can see $65 million and change of that, or a third of the department's budget, is in park maintenance and operations. Park maintenance and operation is bigger than most departments in the city. It's a very big division. And then you can see the sliver, it's sort of a teal sliver that says $7.955 million. That's the capital division. So that pays for the staff in the capital division that supports the park system. And then the bottom left corner there, you see the 5, we just put it there for your information because the money down in the corner is different from annual budgets every year, the 183. The 410 million is 5 years worth of a planned budget of capital spending in the parks. Okay. So we're going to be talking about these things, so I just want to make sure we're all level set. So what does operations and maintenance do on a basic level? In a little bit, Avio Tom will get into it in more detail. But it's the day-to-day operations of the park. It's a lot of mowing grass and picking up trash and cleaning up areas and fixing minor things, all mowing and blowing, we call it. It's all the normal things you would think would occurring day-to-day in your park. Capital projects are different. They're long-term thinking. They're building stuff. It takes time to plan much of what they do. You have to have, professional designs and so on. And it takes some effort and time and professional work to get to a new park. We also do some specialized things in operations and maintenance, like forestry services, which is a relatively new service in the city, but it's a great one. Turf management, also relatively new for us to have a dedicated team again. And as we were talking about in the item before, we give a little extra TLC to our sports fields so that they stay playable. So the funding sources that we're going to talk about today, these are the first three are the big primary ones. The construction and conveyance tax, which I'll refer to as the C&C tax. The Park Trust Fund, which I'll refer to as either the trust fund or park impact funds or fees. The general fund, right, that's our big fund that we all have a piece of, and then gifts, grants, and partnerships. So construction and conveyance, I'm going to start with the trickiest one first. It's a complicated formula. It's set by municipal code, section 4.5.410. The tax is generated off new construction permits on real estate transactions over $100 in value. And those funds are used to improve parks, provide park maintenance. There's some fixed costs like staffing and debt service and real estate that it also addresses. And there's also citywide needs and then individual council district needs. And I'm going to go through that formula in a minute. But I do want to point out that as you see the formula, you'll start to understand it supports a lot of park maintenance, but it also supports capital funds. It does both for us. And I will mention, as you'll see on this slide, not all of C&C goes to PRNS. So I did this slide without the dollars in it, and then I'm going to do this slide with the dollars in it, because first I just want you to understand the methodology, because it's a little tricky. So when C&C revenue comes into the city, it is first split, and it is split basically 2/3 to PRNS and 1/3 to other services. It's called the general allocation, and that can be police, fire, library. I can't give you the breakdown of that percentage, but it doesn't come to parks, I can tell you that. There is a provision in there. You'll see if you start with C&C on the left and you go up to the 36%, you'll see there is one leg of that says 15% of the general fund. The ordinance allows for 15% of the general allocation, that 1/3, to be pushed over to park maintenance. We don't do that as a city, but it allows for it, FYI. Okay, now we're going to go to the bottom side. So lower side, dark green. So here's your 64% that goes to parks. Right off the top, you take 15% of that, and that goes straight into the general fund to support park maintenance. Then you have fixed costs. That's the staff, debt service, and real estate that I was talking about. And that's both in the capital side and on the maintenance side. After that money you take out, then you take out another 34%, or roughly 1/3 of that, and that goes into the citywide funds. Those are things like family camp and the zoo and these big ticket items in the regional parks usually that are not well funded. And they struggle just as much as everything else struggles in this city despite this allocation. Excuse me. Then what you're left over with is where we finally have a little bit of discretion. All this is a formula that takes us down this path. So those remaining funds, they get split 20-80. 20% of that just gets divided 10 ways evenly and dropped into each council district. And then the 80% is what we use our equity lens for, our Healthy Places Index for, our park condition assessments for, and that's that annual process. When we come to you as council members in the fall, and we have your capital budget, and we have all your projects, and we're recommending to you, here's areas where we think with this money you should be investing. That's part of this process. We've done that analysis, and we're bringing this to you and saying, hey, these are the things that we think are priorities. So before we get to the math, I just want to show you how that fund performs over time. Excuse me, I need to take a drink. So this is a 10-year look. That 10 years, and this is, if you add all of it all up, it's $268 million over 10 years. It is split, and you can see the top of it, the lighter color, that's the general allocation that goes somewhere else. So really we want to focus on the green. But you notice some funniness in the middle there. So if you look at 1920, that's the COVID year. So the second half of that year, which would be the first half of 2020, if you all recall. It was a big lockdown. Everybody went home. Nobody quite knew what to do. We didn't have testing and vaccinations and all those things, so transactions would have slowed down. But then as everybody settled in, you can see in 2021 and 21-22, it sped up. And everybody remembers the housing market got hot, right? And that's the transactions, right? Those are the transactions. The more of those transactions, the more this revenue goes up. And then you see 22, 23, what happened? It was inflation, right? Now all the interest rates go up and the housing market slows down and transactions slow down. So it typically doesn't jump like that all the time. Obviously, COVID is a strange thing. If you look at those first 5 years, they're a little more stable in terms of the type of funding, but there is always some variance in any given year. Okay. Now we're going to do the math, but I took it out of the other graph just to make it a little easier for you. So we use an example. We're just going to say we start with $30 million, which is not an unusual number to expect out of the CNC. Some years it's better, some years it's worse. So right off the top, I just want to let you know, if you start at the very top, there you have 30, and then you see it's 29,640,000. That's actually a 1.2% cost that we take right off the top and we send over to our park yards. So our park yards are where we keep our vehicles, our equipment, our tools, all the things we need in the park maintenance to do our job. And we have these around the city because we have parks all over the place. And so it costs something to keep them running and keep them repaired. Anyway, so that 1.2% comes on top. Then there's that 15% I told you about. The 15% goes straight to the general fund for park maintenance. So you take that 4.46 out. Now you're left with 25 million and change. Then you have your fixed cost. We used an easier number here. It costs, if you read the report, it's in there. It ranges from down in the 13 millions to over 17 million. We use 17 million here. You take that out, fixed costs. Now you're down to 8 million and change. Okay, now you get to that split I told you about where you got to take 34% off the top, and that's got to go for citywide expenditures. So that's that 2.785. That leaves you with 5.4 million in this example if we started with 30 million. And that's then what you split into the 80-20. So you can see the 80% on the top there, that goes to the districts based on equity. That was it's a little more than 4.3 million in this example. The 20% is sent to the districts based on equality. And that would be a little over $1 million, meaning in this example, the 20% would mean every district will get at least $108,000 from CNC. All districts get something else usually, but you can see 4.3 million doesn't split 10 ways very broadly, right? It's not a huge amount of money. We did this graphic just to give you an understanding of the distribution of it over the last decade. And you can see it's somewhat evenly distributed. There are factors in it, though, that change how it gets distributed. So, for example, community center space. If you don't have a lot of community centers or only one, you might not get as much because this money does help with community centers. The condition of the existing parks and facilities. I talked about our park condition assessment scores. So we use that to inform us each year, and we talk to you about this, and we bring it to committee every year about how we use those condition assessments then to prioritize certain parks the following year that are underperforming and need help and are also located in our census tracts that we know are underperforming and that hit the marks in our Healthy Places Index, which include outcome measures of income, health, access to food nearby, access to parks, all that stuff. And so you can see this distribution, look at District 4, for example, 5.5 million. They don't have as many parks as other folks. The Alum Rock is typically taken care of through the citywide because it's a big regional park. So you can see the same thing in District 2. They don't have typically as many needs in the park system. The maintenance needs aren't as high. But this gives you a sense of how it gets distributed. Then we get on to the Park Trust Fund. So this is the fund, this is the money that comes from residential development. So when a new apartment building, even just a single family home, even an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit, is built in this city, it adds a person. And that person must be accounted for in the park fees. And so the basic formula is for every 1,000 people you add through residential development, the development then has to dedicate land of 3.5 acres. So I know we call it a fee, and it's a common thing to call it a fee, but I want to be clear that really what it's doing is land dedication. And land has a value, and therefore that value translates into a fee. But it's really about setting aside land as cities grow. That's the whole point of this, and that's been the whole point of it since it came into law. And this is based on state law. You've probably heard us talk about the Quimby Act, which sets up the authority for cities to do this. And so I want to note in the middle there, it comes with spending restrictions. So wherever the fee is generated, it's restricted from being spent beyond 3/4 of a mile for a neighborhood serving project and 3 miles for a community serving project. So what does that mean? Neighborhood serving means, think of a quietish park. You probably have a playground, maybe a walking path around it, could have exercise equipment, things like that. Amenities that are fun, but aren't generally going to draw people from very far away. They're used mostly by the neighborhood or the neighborhoods near that neighborhood. Community serving means it has something that's going to draw people from further away. Probably a sports field, sports courts, a pool, things like that. So that's community serving. And so when you're community serving, you're meaning to draw bigger crowds, and that gives you that broader use of the funding. But this comes with a challenge, right? And the challenge is that because the fees are collected where they are derived, our city primarily has development in only 2 districts, residential development, I should say. And so those 2 districts get the vast majority of the funding, but we're not able to really distribute beyond these limits. And I'll show you that graphically in the next slide. So here you can see in District 3, again, this is over the last 10 years of collections. And this represents about, let's see, 151 million across all districts. So if you just did simple math and said, well, what if we just took the 150 million over the last 10 years that came from residential development, well, each council district, of course, would get $15 million. Even if you did that, though, that redistribution doesn't solve the gap in what the needs are in the park system. It will help improve it in some of the other areas, but it doesn't fill the gap. It just moves the money around. But obviously, you can see in District 3, nearly $81 million. That's because they get the high residential development, and high residential development produces a lot of fees. You're going to hear from us in a couple weeks on another development, Montague Sealy in North San Jose. That project, I think, has about 1,400 residents in the end, or units, I mean, in the end, which is more residents than that. It's going to generate well over $30 million in fees, and part of that will deliver a 2.5-acre park. Those fees will pay for that. So it can do great things, but when it's concentrated in one area, as I'm sure you all can see, it creates difficulties for us, even as professionals, trying to figure out, well, how do we use this money? It's great for those districts, but how do we use it in other ways? Because as you can see, some districts get hardly anything. And even some of the things you get, it comes in very small amounts. And we literally, like ADUs, you might get $3,000 or $4,000 off an ADU. We have to wait till you get like 100 ADUs in order to even have money worth spending. So it's problematic. And we're going to talk a little more about that. It does good things. This map, and I know it's a little hard to see, but hopefully you can zoom in on your screens. These are all the locations where park residential development fees have paid for park improvements, new parks, or parks that are coming in the future. And you can see there's quite a few there. I mean, it's not that we haven't benefited from it, and we have been able to spread it around, but it hasn't benefited us in the ways we think it can. And usually with the new parks, when it's associated with residential development, particularly large residential development, meaning lots of units, it typically results in the delivery of a park with the development, meaning we work it out with the developer, what the park's going to be, what it's going to look like, and then they pay to deliver it as payment of their fee or their land dedication. We call those turnkey parks. Compounding this problem is, I mentioned before that the way Park Trust Fund fees work is a land dedication, and so that translates into a land value. So typically you would want to update your park fees at least every couple years, and that's because real estate values change, so you just want to keep pace with whatever's going on. We have not updated our land values and our parks fees since 2017. So basically there's a built-in discount. You're paying 2017 land value fees for residential development in 2025. So that's a pretty good deal to begin with. But another challenge is we also offer fee reductions. And fee reductions include things we've done recently as a city council, which is downtown high-rise. We've discounted section North San Jose. We've discounted on park fees for multifamily projects. We already offer up to 50% reduction on-site for on-site recreation. So an example of that might be, say you build a dog walking area for your new residents. We'll give you some credit for that. You can get up to 50% credit against your land dedication fees for things you build on site that have recreational value. We also offer an affordable housing discount. So if you build an affordable unit, you'll get 50% off that unit, and you can still get 50% off the on-site recreation if you're able to do it. Our historical reference here is most developers we see, between these fees, they land somewhere between 20 and 30% of their fees are discounted because they take advantage of some of these items. And then, of course, lastly, insufficient funding for the new parks. They don't fully cover the cost of new parks to begin with. So the gaps are filled with other resources that we have to then find. I will add another compounding issue that's shown up recently. It's called Senate Bill 315. It's a bill that would dramatically reduce these fees that we're even talking about. So much so that we believe that in many areas of the city wouldn't even be able to collect residential development fees anymore, because it would ban it if it was residential development in infill that was within 1/2 mile of an existing park, then we couldn't collect any fees. And then if it wasn't within 1/2 mile, it would reduce it, I think, down to 25% in terms of the land dedication. So instead of 3.5 acres per 1,000, it'd be 25% of 3.5, whatever that is. Maybe it's less than one. So that's out there. We did submit a letter of opposition for your information. Okay, what's another source of funding? The general fund. So this is the biggest source of funding. So $36 million in this current fiscal year. As you all know, this is primarily supported by a variety of local taxes, sales tax being, I believe, the biggest, and property tax and others. This is primarily focused on daily operations and maintenance. We do some small projects, what I would call repair work. The water fountain's broken, the irrigation's broken, that kind of stuff. Not building a whole bathroom, not building, a brand new park. That's not what this is. This is day-to-day operations. Being in the general fund, you're competing with everybody else. We're all about to have this conversation next month about that very thing. There's going to be all these reductions that you're going to be deciding on and looking at, and trade-offs you're going to be making. We're part of that process when you're in the general fund. And of course, that general fund fluctuates with the economy. That's why we're even going to have that budget conversation. But it is our most significant source, so it's important. And just in case you're wondering, this is how that breaks down. Just for clarity, you'll see along the left-hand side, Park District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those are park districts, not council districts. Every park district has multiple council districts in it. So don't think of it as a district specific to council districts. These are just our separate that we overlay over everything. We don't have enough staff to have 10 council district staffs. I do want to make one correction here from the memo. We noticed it late. It's just in the math. But if you look at this particular graph or table, the far right column, the 24-25 fiscal year, come down to the bottom, the last four, starting with Parks Contract Services, $3.583 million. This graph is correct. The graph in your report, the attachment A, is incorrect. The 3.5 million in the report shows on the bottom at community forestry. It is not. And then the three below it each had to shift down one. It was just somehow shifted off. So just put it side by side next to the attachment and you'll see the difference. I do also want to point out, it also shows the two programs I mentioned, community forestry, again, a newer program, but very impactful, and IPM turf and mowing, also a newer program, but also very impactful. So it's not that we never do new investment in parks. We do. We try whenever we can. It's sort of an up and down. Some years you get stuff, and then some years you got to give stuff back. So it's an ebb and flow. All right. And then, of course, our grants and partnerships. So over the last 5 years, we've managed to land about $21 million in grants, and that supported 25 different capital projects. We also had $3.8 million awarded that's support. 2.8 of that 3.8 is the Resilience Corps, which supports maintenance. In fact, one of the council members, or the mayor, I think, was mentioning to me today, he was out there and saw our Conservation Corps partners out there doing maintenance on the trail. We also have a $1 million grant that we got for climate resiliency that we're using at Alum Rock and Overfelt. Unfortunately, that got doged a couple weeks ago. So we had actually received some of the funding. They're trying to claw that back. We've spent some of it, so we can reimburse for what we spent, but we're going to have to give almost all of it back. That was a federal earmark, obviously. Then we also have other state and federal earmarks. We got $1.5 million for Lake Cunningham water quality, which we do have, and didn't get clawed back because it was before the presidency changed. We're also pursuing funds for Yerba Buena Bridge in District 8 and Cahalan Park in District 10. Those have been doged as well, as far as we can tell. It's not official yet, but we're all being told don't expect them. Point here, though, is that we are getting better at doing this. Unfortunately, right as we were getting better at doing it, we've run into some headwinds. You know, what really helped us was when Congressman Panetta's district changed and grabbed a part of southern San Jose. And he came and started talking to us about how he could help us, and he really knows how to get earmarks. And so we had not really pursued this much because we had not had much luck with it in the past, but he's really good at it. So it's unfortunate that just as we were sort of kind of figuring this out and starting to see some results, it's getting blocked. But also we have partnerships. I mentioned the Conservation Corps, of course. We have foundations like the Happy Hallow Foundation, our own Parks Foundation. We have a conservancy in the Guadalupe River Park Conservancy who's an operator of an area. We have Vegelution, who's an operator of a section of Emma Prush. And all those partners help us either with the system or operating areas, raising money, putting it back into the system. Right now, for example, at the zoo, Danny the Dragon, the ride, and the scenery is all being redone. That's being funded through fundraising by the foundation there. So I definitely want to thank our partners. They're very important to us. I know some of them are here today. We wouldn't be where we are without them, and we're certainly going to need them going into the future as well. Where am I here? Another headwind is the rising cost of construction, as all of us know. So right now, for us to develop a fairly basic 1 acre park is about $3 million. If you want those things I just told you about. Nice playground, maybe 2, a walking path, exercise equipment, a few other amenities. Wouldn't have a bathroom, which we wouldn't typically do in a 1 acre neighborhood park. But that's the development part, and then you have to pay for the land. And right now, land in San Jose is anywhere from $1.2 million an acre to $8.2 million an acre, depending on where you are. Meaning, it puts the cost of a 1 acre, straightforward kind of basic park at anywhere, starting cost at around $4 million and up to $11+ million, depending on where you are in the city. So just the cost to do this is difficult. I mean, a standard playground, if you think of a standard playground that you see in your community that has some resilient surface, the bouncy surface on the bottom and all the nice play features, the nice little fence around it to protect the kids and everything. That's a $1 million project right there. So that's how quick that money goes. So remember when I said, even if you're left with that, $5.4 million that we can then sort of have a little more discretion with. Well, if you only got $540,000 of that, you'd have to wait at least 2 years to build one playground. So just trying to put it in some context. That rising costs really matter in parks. And then, of course, our deferred maintenance backlog. You hear us talk about it with some frequency. This table shows all of it for our department. I'll focus you mostly on the top part, which is the park component. So park grounds, that's all your neighborhood parks. $147 million of backlog. Park yards, I mentioned those earlier, where we keep all our equipment, vehicles, and everything. You see we've got $10 million in need there. We actually did a study on this some years ago, and it's one of those unfunded things. We know we need it, we know what it costs to do it, but we can't find the money. Our trail system, which is extensive, like I mentioned, over 65 miles, has $20 million of need. And our regional facilities, I mentioned the regional parks and the big stuff that's in them, right? You talk about a zoo, right? You can talk about the Japanese Friendship Garden. We can talk about Lake Cunningham and the bike park and a marina that we don't even have open anymore because we can't maintain it. So these big parks tend to have big things in them, and those big things cost big money. And then you can see community buildings. We have lots of buildings, accessory buildings all over the place. We have community centers, of course, restrooms everywhere. All of that adds up to $550 million and counting. All right, so we're going to head on to how parks are maintained with Avi.
Thank you, John, and good afternoon. It's almost evening, but good afternoon, Mayor and council members. My name is Avi Otam, and I'm the Deputy Director of Parks. For efficiency, I'll cover the park maintenance slides today, but for questions and answers later, I'm joined by Tori O'Reilly, Division Manager for Park Maintenance of our city parks. Not here today is our colleague Shannon Heimer, Division Manager of Parks, Destinations, Events, and Sports, which I'll describe in a bit as having some specialized maintenance staffing levels. She's not here today, not because she's disinterested, but because she was attending the graduation of 3 park ranger recruits from Academy. So we're all very excited for them to get into field training and go out and serve and protect our community very soon. So back to this, let me also just acknowledge, in the audience, we have some of our team members of park managers, supervisors, and frontline staff who contribute to our day-to-day work. And I specifically want to acknowledge Lisa Diebold, our analyst for park maintenance, who prepared much of today's information, including a sophisticated analysis of park maintenance needs that I'll get into in a little bit. But back to the slides. How are parks maintained? This is how we do it. Maintaining more than 200 neighborhood parks, 10 regional parks, and 65 miles of trails takes a collaborative approach. Most parks in the city, including regional parks, are maintained by crews of 2 to 4 maintenance staff members who are responsible for about 6 to 8 parks and visit each of them 2 to 3 times a week. That means most parks have 1 landscape maintenance workday per week and another 1 to 2 visits that are focused on addressing trash, litter, and other health and safety needs, like blowing leaves in the fall so they do not accumulate into slip hazards. These crews work in one of 6 park districts that John mentioned earlier, shown on this map, that divide up the responsibility for parks and trails across the city. Supporting these park districts and crews are specialized teams that handle some specific sites, like our marquee destinations and sports facilities, or handle specialized activities like pest management and turf renovation, irrigation and minor park furniture repair, and mowing across the city. These staff are also assisted by contractors responsible for custodial services and about 100 park restrooms, and landscape maintenance of pocket parks and civic grounds, which are basically the land in front of our community buildings like libraries. Park district staffing is determined by the inventory of park acreage, amenities, and trails that each park district is responsible for. As you can see on this screen showing staffing breakdowns, park districts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 have between 17 and 26 full-time equivalent staff. Over the years, we've thought about ways to equalize these districts by staffing levels and adjusting the district boundaries to accommodate that, but we've also found it impractical for a number of reasons, including driving time, proximity to park yards, and other factors. So at this point, there is a little bit of variation, but the park districts with larger responsibilities do have 1 or 2 more crews to help with that. You'll see on the screen, Park Districts 6 and 7 are the exception to the rule. Park District 6 represents the dedicated staffing that we have allocated to 2 marquee destinations, Happy Hollow Park and Zoo, and Amaprouche Farm Park. And Park District 7 represents the dedicated staffing to 3 sports facilities, the Lake Cunningham Action Sports Park, Arcadia Ballpark, and Police Activities League Sports Complex. These 2 park districts have more staffing relative to the acres and amenities they oversee because we aim to maintain these facilities at a premier level. Also acknowledge Not shown on this table, there is some capital infrastructure that is maintained or replaced by contractors or capital maintenance staff. For instance, full playground renovations or shade cell installations are done using capital dollars with some of our capital staff. Regardless of which park district or specialized team they are on, our park maintenance staff are all aiming to achieve the same park maintenance standards established by our department in 2021 and updated in 2023. These standards were set to be achievable and realistic in light of the staffing and resources allocated to park maintenance. Many of the standards aim for 80% performance, for instance, a park's turf being 80% free of weeds. As reported to NSC, for the last 2 assessment cycles, the citywide PCA score was about 87%. I want to be clear, that doesn't mean we're saying parks are at a B+ condition level right now. It means that about 87% of the time, staff achieved a standard of park maintenance of about 80%. Now, if you do 87% of about 80%, you end up with a number a little bit short of 70%. So in a way, we're basically saying our parks are at about a D+ level of condition with our current maintenance efforts. Clearly, the standards that we're using there and the results do not describe a perfect park or the kind of park that any of us as staff, council, or community desire, and we all desire and rightfully expect better parks. We're going to bring to the Park and Rec Commission in June a new set of standards for their consideration that we think will better reflect the community's desire for higher quality parks. And we plan this fall to measure our parks both against the existing standard that we think is realistic and that higher standard that we believe the community really desires for the parks. I'll close on this one by just noting we do find great value in today's scoring methodology as we use it to identify the lowest scoring parks and then focus maintenance attention onto them for improvement projects. We've combined the low PCA scores with the Healthy Places Index, our health equity lens, to further hone in on the areas we want to focus. And basically, through our park maintenance efforts, we focus on the parks with the most needs in the neighborhoods that need the park the most for green spaces and their health. And while the overall PCA score this year dropped a fraction of a percentage point from the prior year, there were fewer parks and park acres that scored very low, which we see as a sign of success in raising the bottom. So more parks are consistently maintained. We currently focus our park maintenance standards and annual assessments on targets we consider achievable because park maintenance staffing is, even after a decade of fairly significant investment by this and prior city councils, much lower than it was 2 decades ago, despite a growing inventory of parks and growing challenges. On the screen here, we show a comparison, and we've anchored it back to 2002 as the high water mark for park staffing, when the city had almost 230 full-time equivalent staff in key park maintenance classifications who were responsible for 1,475 developed acres of neighborhood and regional parks, and the trail system was much smaller than it is today. And this might just be me who geeks out on this, but as a sign of how times have changed, in 2002, the maintenance of regional parks had just come to PRNS, and the maintenance was handled by dedicated staffing who were stationed at those parks, who had moved over from the long-gone Convention Arts and Entertainment Department. And the maintenance of neighborhood parks was actually at that time still in the long-gone General Services Department. So PRNS, over the course of a couple years in the early 2000s, took all those park maintenance functions into our department to consolidate them and try to find some efficiencies. From that high water mark, as a quick reminder of the history that we lived through, dot-com bubble bursts, housing crisis, Great Recession, all of that led to pretty dramatic reductions across the city organization, not only in park maintenance. But because we're here to talk about parks, I will note that our staffing levels were almost reduced in half. As I mentioned earlier, there has been a concerted investment by the city manager's offices and city councils over the last 10 years, and we've actually added back about 57 or so positions to get to where we are today, which is the right half of this chart, where we have about 185 full-time equivalent staff responsible for about 1,800 acres and a 65-mile trail system that's expanded greatly along many of the city's most challenging areas, the waterways. So in a nutshell, about 20% fewer staff and 20% more acres and a lot more trails and some compounding challenges that are growing in our city. On the next slide, I'm going to explain that little footnote at the bottom about how outsourcing has reduced some of the gap between staff and responsibilities. But for now, I also want to note that the acreage on the screen doesn't tell the whole story. While 300 acres have been added over the last 20 years, we also got to note the existing 1,500 acres have all gotten 20 years older. Our infrastructure has gotten 20 years older, more expensive, tougher to maintain. And over the past 12 years, the city and state have been in a drought more often than not. And about that time, 12 years ago, our department browned out many grassy areas, leaving behind very challenging conditions that we're still trying to recover from. Basically, parks are worse for the wear. And finally, beyond those 1,800 developed acres, there are another 1,500 acres of undeveloped land and open space, becoming more difficult and costly to keep clear of hazards as we've seen illegal dumping, fence breaches, and other vandalism become more prevalent. And that all brings us to this slide. What staffing is needed to maintain the city's parks in a better condition? So every year or two, we send staff to California Park and Recreation Society's Maintenance Management School, where staff can learn how to prepare comprehensive maintenance management plans for parks. This week-long program teaches participants how to measure each acre, each amenity, and each task needed in a park and assign the appropriate staff time to care for that. Our super analyst, Lisa Diebold, attended this program and brought its learning into her data upskilling program offered by the IT department, where she used Python and Tableau to systematically analyze and visualize the staffing needed to maintain most parks twice a week and larger, more popular parks 3 times a week. Now, that may sound exactly like what I said we're doing today, but the big difference is those would be 2 or 3 full service days where we're not just simply running through to pick up trash. We're actually doing landscaping. We're actually taking care of the trees. Oops, skipped ahead. That analysis found that we're about 100 FTE understaffed in field positions, or about 100 to 120 FTE short, including lead and supervisory positions, if we aim to maintain parks at the appropriate level. And what's striking to me, and I know it's not in your report or on the screen above, but when you look in the details of the analysis, which are pretty voluminous, and you look by task, you're going to see that even though we're 100 FTE short of the staffing we need for a system our size, the analysis shows we're actually spending more time today picking up trash and litter than we'd expect to if we had 100 more FTE in our parks department. That trade-off of focusing on trash and litter comes at the expense of landscaping, which we do far less than is needed. We mow less, we work on ball fields less, we trim trees less. We basically do everything less than is needed. And unfortunately, that shows up in how our parks look for many of our community members. Now, I don't want to end on that downer. I do want to note what we are doing. Faced with this challenge, our team is creative, resourceful, and enterprising, and we've found ways to reduce the gap between staffing and responsibilities. We've, as noted, outsourced maintenance of pocket parks and civic grounds, and custodial services in parks. We coordinate about 28,000 volunteer hours each year that support park beautification as well as some maintenance. We oversee about 18,000 free labor hours from sentencing alternative or general assistance programs, and we help develop with the Conservation Corps and continue to oversee the Resilience Corps program that brings to bear about 30 to 40,000 hours of support for parks each year. And as John mentioned, we've partnered with private nonprofit and for-profit organizations to support park maintenance, including Adobe's stewardship of McHenry Park, Archbishop Mitty High School's maintenance of John Mize Park, and we've worked really entrepreneurially with J. Paul, the San Jose Sharks, and Guadalupe River Park Conservancy over the past few years to do beautification and blight elimination projects at Plaza de Cesar Chavez and Arena Green. With that, I'll turn it back to John.
Thanks, Avi. Okay, we're going to talk about what can we learn from what other park systems are doing. So, we get an annual report from a national nonprofit called the Trust for Public Land, and they do these analysis of the top 100 most populous cities in the country. They kind of even the average out. They do it like over 3 years running average, so that you account for annual variations that can mess up a given year. And then they score you on 5 categories you can see here. One is acreage, one is access, meaning within a 10-minute walk of a park, living within a 10-minute walk of a park. One is how much you invest, again, a 3-year average of investments. One are the amenities, looking at popular features that people want. And one is equity, the distribution of that space by race, neighborhood, and income. You can see here, we ranked 32nd out of 100. That's not the end of the world, but it's certainly not where we as a city want to be or how we pride ourselves. I am proud that our 2 highest are equity and access, which are one of our guiding principles. And we have made a demonstrable focus on that over the last 5 years since our city said, you said as a council, this is a priority, make sure we're doing this, and so we did. But obviously in a lot of other areas we struggle. So I'd call it a mixed result report card. Ooh, sorry. Okay. So real quick, I'm going to give you 3 examples of how we compare to other people. This is all by our investment per capita, okay? And again, it's across that 100 most populous cities. So this first one, how do we look versus cities we often compare ourselves to, like a San Francisco, a Seattle, San Diego, Los Angeles. We always talk about how we compare. Well, we're last in that group, as you can see. I would say San Francisco is a bit of an outlier, frankly, when I look at the country writ large. Although you'll see Seattle has a lot going for it too. It's frankly almost unfair to compare ourselves to those cities. The level of investment they're at is even beyond what we even think we need, frankly, in our system. But it is about maintenance. This is all about maintenance. The next one is just California cities. So a good look at all our California cities, and you can see us down there on the list. So we pulled this California city one. We're near the bottom, wedged between Sacramento and Stockton, who I'll remind the council declared bankruptcy a few years ago. The next one is cities of 1 million or more, because they group those. How do we rank there? A little bit better. We land between Houston, which is a city I believe about 3 million, and Charlotte, which I believe is a city less than 1 million. But it says it's 1 million or more, so maybe it's hit the million mark. Maybe it's right at it. But anyways, in all cases, we're at about $46 per capita. I think this graph in some ways is a little more telling because it looks broadly across the country. However, California does have cost issues. I talked about some already that are more unique to California than any of our friends out there in the rest of the country. We have a county park system around us. We have lots of county parks, big county parks, all around our borders. They're great parks. I absolutely encourage you to use them. They're there for our residents. They are largely paid for out of the property tax that the county collects. There was a measure way back in 1972, Measure A for them, that required a set-aside, and it said 1.5 cents of every $100 of assessed property value has to be set aside for the park system. That currently generates around $90 million a year for them, for that park system. And, you know, our own residents in San Jose pay this tax as well. You're paying your property tax as well, and the county takes a piece of that. So this is a benefit to us as well as city residents. But it's not your neighborhood park. It's not what's in front of you. It's not what's in the city. Mostly you have to leave the city to be in it, be in a county park. Open Space Authority also owns parkland around us. They have 2 measures that have been passed on the ballot. One is their Measure TE from 2020. That one always stings a little. Not that they aren't our friends. They absolutely are our friends. It's not why it stings. It stings because we got worried that the ballot wasn't going to work in 2020 because of the COVID. So we stopped our process. They forged ahead and they passed it. So I feel like we might have missed one there. Anyways, can't cry over that. So they have that measure, and they also have an older measure that generates. So between those two, they're generating about $12 million on their open spaces and farmland around the valley. They offer grant programs. We have one that they offer. They have one that offers to cities, their urban program. So they do spend money in our city. It's not a lot. I think right now we have maybe $1.2 million at our disposal with OSA. They're out there polling themselves right now. We'll talk about polling a little bit. Maybe we'll learn something from what they learn with their polling about how things are going. And then, just so you're aware, here they are on your tax bill. On the top there, you can see one. That highlight one, that highlights the county property tax bill, right, the full bill. But that's where that money would come from on your bill. So if that's your bill, you see that line at the top there, that's what you're paying for property tax, and that 1.5 cents of every $100 of property value is going over the county park system. And then you can see the two special taxes down on the bottom, both by Open Space Authority that they have in there. And so, again, those measures serve our residents, but the places they serve are mostly outside of our city. And we have over 200 parks and 65 miles of trails and 10 regional parks all within the boundaries of our cities without those kind of funding sources to help us. So what do we learn from a place like Seattle that spends so much per capita? Well, Seattle is really well funded, but they didn't start that way. They had to get there. They had a $267 million backlog that they were trying to deal with. They had a voter-approved measure in 2014 that did pass. And if you really look at their funding sources, they get about $116 million out of the general fund. So let's just start right there. If you saw the budget for all of park maintenance right now, it's $65 million. So their general fund is already adding way more than we already add. Then they have this voter-approved measure that's adding another $112 million. Then they have the real estate excise tax that's adding another $24 million. And they draw $75 million annually in fees from, like fees in their parks, funds that they have, rentals, gifts, and grants, and so on. So this is a really well-funded, diversely funded, it's a model for sure. I would love to have a model that is less dependent on things like a general fund that's going to waiver every year. And so they've managed to spread their risk out here, as you can see, and that's a smart strategy. Our friend, they did do a bond too, I think back in 2008, they did a bond as well. Same thing, build stuff. It's not operational, but it got them $146 million to do some improvements and build, athletic fields, spaces, park improvements, so on. Seattle ranks 6th on the TPL score, the same one we ranked 32 on. Our friends in San Diego also have a big backlog. See there, $213 million. They did something interesting. They did what they call one city, one park. And in that system, what we like is, I talked to you about our green print earlier, and I talked to you about the Park Trust Fund and the resident developer fees. And how the green print was saying, well, here's how you should spend your investments in the park system, but the park fees limit your ability to do that, right? They hold them geographically to a location in the city. What they figured out was how to basically look at the whole city park system as one park that just has needs in different places. And then when you prioritize those needs, now you can, and that is a public pass document. It would look for us something like the form of a green print, where there's a very involved process, and I'll talk about that a bit more in a minute. That's what they went through. And so it allows them the flexibility now to move that residential development money around their city. Okay. By the way, San Diego ranked 26th on the TPL score, still ahead of us. LA County did a measure. So back in 2014, they went for a measure. It failed. So they came back, they re-engineered, and what they did was they went out and spent time in the community. And they talked with the community, did a countywide needs assessment, not unlike what I just described to you that San Diego did. They identified the underserved areas and the project priorities for those areas, and they grounded the data in the community engagement, right? What were people saying where they live? And then they went back, and it sailed right over the ballot. It was such a success that it's actually held up as a national model. They got 75% of voters in favor, and it generates $94 million a year for their park system. And it has no sunset date, and it has equity-focused funding. These are the kind of things that we're looking at, right? The better engagement, the one city, one park example. So what are those opportunities? So I mentioned Emma Prush earlier. And when Avi was talking, he mentioned how that park gets more maintenance staffing than a traditional park. This is really what we see as the model of how we should be taking care of parks, is Emma Prush. You have a dedicated maintenance team. They just live there. They live and breathe that park and all its maintenance, everything involved. They have ownership there. They're not just showing up for a few hours mowing and going, right? It received a perfect score in this last round. It is always bustling with people. If you walked over there, like I mentioned earlier during our Viva Calle event on Sunday, you'll see how a well-maintained, well-run, funded park works. We got good, clean bathrooms. We got amazing spaces. We got equity and access dripping out of the park. You can get to everything. It invites everybody in of every ability. It has a huge field space for recreation. It is a farm park, so it draws the kids in to learn about nature and our agricultural past. And it sits like a gym right there on our east side at King and Story. So it's just a great example of what is possible when we invest correctly in our parks. Just to rehash a little bit of history, we've been polling. Those of you who have been around for a while, you've seen some rounds of this. Our most recent one that happened in January did not go the way we wanted it. They looked at a variety of issues, not just parks, but you can see a parks bond, 52%, but you need 2/3, so that's not even close. Parcel tax, even worse. The difference there is a parks bond is money to build stuff. A parcel tax is money to operate things. We're definitely more in need of operating things than we are in need of building things. And in fact, even in the downtown these days, I'm looking less to build new parks. Even when residential development does happen, I'm just looking to improve the existing parks in the system to be able to handle the extra load of people. There just isn't much space, frankly, in downtown anymore to build parks. But I'm sure we'll get some through some of the development when it comes. They'll sometimes build parks along with them. You can see there were a few other items that they were asking about: utility user taxes, sales tax increases, all these things. None of it polls well, none of it. Last spring we did some polling, and I don't know if it was spring fever or whatever, but you can see the results are quite a bit better, even getting close to some thresholds at that 2/3 that we want to see. And then even before that, in 2019, just before the pandemic, we were roughly in the same space. So we didn't lose a lot of ground over those years and with the pandemic. But we never quite got to the threshold we need to get at. And one of the things we know is trust is an issue. Trust in government is an issue. That is obviously not improving these days. As we all know, you just have to turn on the TV and watch your national politics. But it doesn't, we get hurt here. The project we talked about before, this Columbus, we spent more time in that project talking about the homeless issue that's there than about the park project itself. So you can see how even here in San Jose, right, trust is an issue. How are you going to pull this off? Even you were asking, what is your plan, John? Trust is a concern. We get it. So hopefully our friends at OCA will give us some insight if they're able to share as we get down the road. So what does that mean? What does it look like? What do we think we should be trying to do? Well, if we're wanting to get on a ballot measure, which is what this conversation is meant to talk about, we would do additional polling on funding options in the fall and probably early 26. In between, we'd start doing the community engagement and try to help shape what's this best approach. And then the city council would have an opportunity to think about 2026, or if polling wasn't going well, perhaps 2028 in the future. That means we got to come up with a bit of a plan. So here's what we think the plan might look at. We want to sort of take the best of the LA thing and the best of the San Diego thing. We think the model San Diego used for their one city, one park gets at this developer issue and the ability to distribute that money differently. And then updating our green print, which hasn't been updated in more than 15 years now, district by district, going around to every district and talking about those parks in those neighborhoods and what would change and be better if a ballot measure passed. How would it be better? What would you want to be better, right? Again, this is the LA model where you talk to the residents and really get the buy-in so they understand that if this shows up on a ballot, this has direct benefit to me and my neighborhood. This isn't just esoteric somewhere else in the city. This is meant for all of us, right? For the whole city. So hopefully in seeing that value, it improves those results in those polls as people start to see that something good could come out of it. This would mean updating that green print or park master plan, which looks at, we would be able to look at both what's needed from a maintenance perspective in terms of upgrades, but also what's needed in terms of capital projects and refurbishments or replacements or repairs. It looks at, when you're doing these plans, these talk about policy. Like, for example, you heard me mention a 10-minute walk to a park. So the Trust for Public Land, we're a member of them in their goal of developing parks within a 10-minute walk of everybody's home, right? Wherever people live, you should not have to walk more than 10 minutes to get to a green space, a park, a place, a community center, something like that. We're actually pretty good at that as a city. Most of our city actually meets that requirement. Not all of it, but most of it does. But it is part of our planning. That would be a policy guiding thing, for example, you'd put in there. That's our plan. And what that helps you do, and we have maps that show this, is you can narrow down areas of the city where you go, okay, these neighborhoods don't have a park within a 10-minute walk. So if new park money comes in, we need to look at those neighborhoods for prioritization to get a park because they're not meeting a standard that we put in the master plan. And this is, of course, inspired by the San Diego stuff. And then lastly, I just want to thank Councilmember Ortiz and the council for bringing this issue up and saying, come in here, let's have this conversation so that we can first learn about what are our challenges, what are some opportunities, and then have this deeper conversation about what makes sense in terms of going forward. We're looking forward to that conversation and to the next steps ahead. That concludes our presentation. We're ready for any questions or comments. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for that very comprehensive presentation. I learned a lot. I thought it was really educational and interesting. And also just want to express my gratitude, John, to you and the entire team for the work you do in our parks. Our Parks and Rec offerings, both the physical space, but also the programming and experiences we enable are really just a vital part of our city's life and culture for everybody. And I was reminded of that out at Emma Prush this weekend. It was hopping. It was pretty amazing, as was St. James and everything in between. So let's turn to the council. We'll have time for questions from council members and some dialogue, and then we'll turn to members of the public, and we'll start with Councilmember Ortiz.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. First off, I just want to thank the park advocates who have stayed a really long time in order for this conversation. I think we quoted them that this was going to come up at 3:30, and it looks like I failed you all, so sorry about that. But that truly shows dedication, so thank you. And then, of course, I want to recognize and thank the great work of our parks team who continue to do great work under challenging conditions. You know, our staff are doing a lot. They're putting forth a lot of effort with very little resources, as we saw the level of investment in other cities. And so I just want to make sure that their work is commended, especially their dedication to the residents here in the city of San Jose. But I'm glad we're having this conversation because it's important for us to be able to have the data and speak candidly, right? And if I've learned anything from this conversation, it's clear that the existing status quo when it comes to how we are funding our parks in the city of San Jose is not sustainable, and it's definitely not equitable. With a staggering $554.3 million in deferred maintenance, and then of course unfunded infrastructure needs, this moment presents an opportunity for an honest conversation about how park funding is currently allocated and how it can be improved to better serve all of our communities. Residents from all districts have consistently voiced their desire to restore aging playgrounds, repair deteriorating restrooms, revitalize worn-out turf, and of course, provide much-needed support to our dedicated but stretched maintenance teams. And when we look, as mentioned on the slides, when we look at how park fees have been collected and distributed over the last decade, the disparities are clear. Council districts, like Council District 5, I'm not the only one in this situation, has generated just $1.9 million in park fees over the past 10 years, right? And so I'm not going to, this is not about, pointing out other council districts, but it's not just a gap. In many cases, it's a canyon compared to what some districts are able to get. And so, and yet the report states it clearly on page 15 The equity challenge is compounded by stagnant park development fee rates. Fees, as mentioned by John, haven't been increased since 2017, and in fact, last year they were reduced. Developers can also reduce their parkland obligation by up to 75% simply by building on-site amenities like pools or gyms that are often gated and only serve the residents that live in their apartment building. So to me, that is what the status quo is. A great example of the status quo is, for example, cities giving developers breaks on fees that are intended to fund city infrastructure while the needs of our everyday residents are pushed aside. To say to residents that we will make the money back in the future, that's nothing more than trickle-down economics. And we saw what trickle-down economics did to our entire country, especially to the working class, which was absolutely nothing. And as a result, we have a park system that is expected to serve more people with far less money. That is why last year, during the March budget message, I joined former Councilmember Jimenez, Councilmember Candelas, in directing the city manager to identify potential modifications to existing policies that would allow for a more equitable citywide distribution of park impact fees. Because this isn't just, I want to be clear, this isn't just a District 5 issue. We saw that map, right? This is something that affects the entire city. And actually, at our press conference, we had people from District 7, District 6, District 1, because everybody is vested in this conversation. It truly is a citywide issue, and most importantly, it's a matter of equity. That's why I'm looking forward to the Park Master Plan process, which I know was mentioned during the presentation. And I urge my colleagues to reflect on the data that we saw today. If this council is truly about shaking up the status quo, and we're not just using that word as a soundbite, we will rise to this occasion. This is our opportunity to think boldly and make changes, right? Especially when it comes to how we collect and spend park development fees. Parks are not just a siloed issue, they impact every district, and they are essential for the well-being of those who rely on them, whether that's families, seniors, youth, and especially our low-income residents. Equity must be our guiding principle, and as we move forward with the Park Master Plan, let's commit to being a city where every family, no matter their neighborhood, no matter their zip code, no matter their place of origin, can access clean, safe, and beautiful parks, giving our city staff, of course, the resources needed to make that a reality, because I understand that you guys have a mountain that you're trying to address. Finally, I just want to highlight what's ahead for residents. As mentioned, the city is currently exploring a 2026 ballot measure that could secure dedicated park maintenance funding. It's still early, right? But this is our opportunity to put real dollars, right, behind the values that we are talking about. I encourage everyone who's here, please talk to your neighbors, friends, family members, and start planting that seed, right, to support this commitment. I'm definitely going to be lock in step with the PR&S department as they look at this community engagement strategy that you guys are talking about. So with that, I do have some questions. So when can the council and committee expect the Park Master Plan to return for discussion? And when might we be able to begin to see work that could modify these policies and make them more flexible?
Thank you, Councilmember. Work to modify will begin this year in the next few months. We're right now, I don't think we've quite hired a consultant yet, but we're almost there. So that's work to be done in this calendar year. And that's the community meetings, that's the groundwork, the real heavy outreach kind of part of it. But I just want to caution, this will ultimately be an updated section of the general plan.
Oh, I see.
So it often can take a couple years to get that all the way to the end of that line. So that's a little bit tricky given our timing of the end of 2026. I can't speculate right now for sure. It may be, I think residents would feel most at ease and trustful if that was a fully finished, signed off, voted on, approved document by the city council. I think we can get somewhere close to that in terms of council's intent and things like that. I don't know that we can pull off the full finished and completed master plan by a November 2026 budget or a ballot measure.
Okay, that's good context for us to know. I think that, given the examples that you showed in LA and San Diego, there was multiple mechanisms that they needed to go out for in order to have a robust, quote unquote, arsenal in order to improve it. And so I'm hoping that, obviously, we're going to be thinking about that potential parks bond, but I don't want us to put all our eggs in one basket, and I hope that we can, still, when the plan is ready for a conversation and we're ready to put that bow on, we can have that conversation, and my colleagues can take that to the heart. Just so that I know for my colleagues, what are some things that we can do in that discussion to ensure that, I guess, whether there's guiding values to how those dollars are utilized, or how can we look at that and maybe determine some determining factors of outcomes?
Yeah, I think one of the important things with getting public consent about this kind of stuff is really being where they are and showing them, understanding what their specific needs are there, so that you can say, okay, those are the kind of things we could fix if we could do this. They're much harder to do, and we can't do them as frequently or as good when we don't have the resources. I think another important factor to talk about is our general fund. I've been in this city now 22 years. I've been an executive all 22 of those years, different departments, moving around some stuff. On one hand, I can count, I think, the number of budgets that had a surplus in 22 years. We've always operated in deficits, and that's a really hard situation to build up park maintenance, because one year we'll have a good year and we go, oh great, add something, and we do when we're feeling good about it. A year or two later, bad things come, cut it, right? And that kind of ebb and flow is difficult for us. And I had mentioned that's one of the things I liked about the Seattle model is they had such diversity in their funding that if one thing was going bad, they could probably play a little shell game, get through the pain, and not have real serious problems. We're not in that position. We're too thin to begin with.
Okay, great. And then just so that I'm aware, you mentioned a community engagement process. How are we going to make sure we're engaging with, our diverse communities, whether that's Latino, Vietnamese, Filipino communities, and how are we going to make, it's a big city, so how are we going to make sure that everybody's given the opportunity to provide input?
Yeah, I feel like we have a very good outreach strategy as a department. We do a lot of outreach across a variety of programs, not just this kind of stuff. So we have communications professionals, we have people working in all these park districts. We are the department that runs the neighborhood engagement process for the city, right? We have the neighborhood, that whole program sits in this department. So we know all those, whatever, I think it's 180 or 190 neighborhood associations across the city that were signed up. So we have all these inroads built into our department as ways to get deep into communities.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I just want to, reemphasize, this conversation isn't about like us versus them, or, this district's mad at you because you have more money. I think maybe former council members have posed it like that, not to mention any names. But I think it's just, this is a whole city issue, and if we're not talking about these issues out in the open and finding a way to address it, we're never going to address it. So I hope my colleagues keep an open mind. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Councilmember. Let's go to Councilmember Condelis.
No, thank you. Excuse me. No, I appreciate the presentation, John, and the background. There's no shortage of opportunities that my office has with regards to engaging with PRNS on the parks issues that we have in our city, and that backlog is evident with our constituent cases, right? But needless to say, you do a great job with the resources that you have, and I don't envy the position that you're in. You do great work with where we're at, and so John, it's perfect that you mentioned, that we're, in all your years, it's always been a deficit year, because that's the reality of how we operate with limited resources and to do the work that we can, given the vast needs out there. So I have a couple questions. One was pertaining to earlier. Well, I'll just go in the order of which you presented. The first piece is on the funding allocation for the CNC. That initial allocation that you mentioned, the 15%, the 15% to the general fund that we don't do. You said we don't do that.
Yeah.
So expand on that.
So there's actually, this is one of the more confusing parts. So start right at the beginning. We've just collected the CNC. It's all 100% there.
Right.
That splits into two pieces.
The 36 and the 64.
That's right.
Correct.
And then each of those pieces are subject to up to 15% can be pushed into park maintenance. The 33%, what we call the public, or the, what allocation?
The general allocation?
We just don't take the 15%. That goes into the general allocation. The budget office, I don't know, Jim might be able to explain to you where he distributes that. But we don't have any part of that. But on our side, that 64%, we do take that 15%, and that does go into park maintenance in the general fund.
So maybe I can help clarify, Jim. Jim, I may have you come down, but I'll try to take a stab at it. On the 36%, what we're calling, the Parks Department's calling general allocation, it is specified by, it's been by previous council policy to go to, it's split among several different areas by a certain percentage. One is fire, so that's our fire capital program. Communications, library, that's where we get a lot of our capital, our books for library, service yards, park yards. There may be one other one that I'm going off the top of my head. Within park yards, we can take 15. You could take 15% of that, which I believe we do. But it's only like 1% or so of that total 36%. I would not recommend that you fool with that side of the house because all of that is underfunded. In fact, this year in the budget process, as we've done in many, many years past, we have to supplement with the general fund already all of those areas. We don't have enough for our fire apparatus replacement or communications or library books. We are actually having to supplement out of the general fund. We did review on the CNC side of the parks allocation, the 64%, back when we had a general fund structural deficit elimination plan, when we had the 10 years of consecutive deficits, we did look at increasing that 15% to 30% to give more flexibility on to maybe not, even though we have a shortage of capital needs as right on the money of how much capital backlog we have, but we did look to see if we could put more of that money to maintenance. But it was a city attorney's office opinion, and which we looked at, and I just re-looked at it actually, that needed to go to a vote of the people because of how it's specified that no less than 64% has to go to parks. So we would have, if we ever fooled with and redesigned that formula, likely it would affect the whole scenario here, and you need to go back to the vote of the people on that, which is certainly something the council could consider as we're looking at funding sources and that are desperately needed for our park system. Other than that, just doing either a bond measure or a general sales tax increase or something else that can help the entire pie with a less,
without taking away.
Without taking away. I'm just concerned about that the other piece of it is equally important and would have other consequences that I don't think the council would also enjoy.
That's fair, and I guess I was just more for my education. I'm not going to propose,
I didn't think you were, but I do want to explain a little bit more about what the other piece is for.
Yeah, no, and I think that's.
I did okay, Jim, on that. Okay, got a thumbs up from the budget director. I
Sure,
still have
Jim,
my
the boss
budget. I
is
still have
asking,
my budget director
It's an
hat.
opportunity to be, thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that, and I think, in the space that we're in, if we're not looking at the way we're doing business just because we've done something for X amount of years, I think we're not challenging ourselves to see if that's the most opportune, or if that's the optimal way to fund parks. But I think we all recognize the overall gap is the amount of money that we put and we invest in our parks, period. I guess, this leads me into my next, question is, with regards to San Diego's model, how, around the restrictions around the One City, One Park and the restrictions around the Quimby Act, I'm curious as to, because there's an opportunity, in my opinion, where, if you look at the chart with regards to our trust fund fees and how unequitably distributed they are throughout the city based on where places are developable, I think, I'm curious to hear a little bit more about how they were able to get around the 3/4 mile restriction, based on the work that they did.
So San Diego, they actually dropped the backdrop of the Quimby Act. They just stopped using it. and went to a mitigation act. And that's how they were able to get away from these restrictions. And so we think that's a successful strategy. They've not been challenged. It's been 3 or 4 years now, I think. And they're like, well, it's been out there. It hasn't been taking a hit. The public seems to like it. So it makes sense to us to try.
Right, and I would hope that as part of that master plan outlook that we're looking at, I know you kind of alluded to it.
That's what that master plan would be. It's our version of what they did.
Got it. And obviously there'd be a recalibration of fees across the board, and I mean, you all are
Yeah,
the
we'd probably
experts.
update land values, all that good stuff, get everything nice and tight and T's crossed and I's dotted.
Got it. And I think that's where the I guess the opportunity for us to not have to wait 2, 3, 4 years. I think that's something that could be looked at on a on a shorter timeline, and not to say, but I look forward to whenever the next update. I know Peter asked that question, or Councilmember Ortiz asked that question, but that's where I'm interested in, especially with regards to how we are re-looking at that process, which I think, quite frankly, needs a little bit of work.
Fair enough. I just know these things take a long time, so I don't want to overpromise on having that deliverable by November 2026. I think for sure we could have something rather official that the council could really sink their teeth into, and the community could sink their teeth into. I'm just not sure if we can get into the update of the general plan stage of it. That's a tough spot.
That's
process.
Fair. No. Public Administrator 101, John, you know this: under promise, over deliver, right? I think this all leads to conversations about trust, right? There's maintenance questions that I have, but I guess I'll ask a question. I know we, in the limited budget dollars that we have, with regards to procurement issues, I know this is something that I've heard from residents where we have a part that's out of service in a park for almost a year, right? Months at a time. And I'm curious as to, hopefully staff is looking at changes to our procurement, the way we do business, so we can act quicker and be a little bit more nimble to be able to respond to maintenance issues. Is that something that we're looking at? I know this is something I've brought forward a couple times, and I'm curious.
I definitely think there are areas of procurement we could improve if we had a ballot measure that helped with operations, because then you could add administrative staff that helps do that work. Part of the problem we have the same issue with contracts and everything, not having enough people to do the volume, so everything slows down. But that particular kind of procurement has other challenges: lead times for manufacturing, finding a part, especially if it's older equipment. Those kind of things have been difficult for a while. Supply chains are still a little messed up, even after the pandemic, believe it or not. But we're always looking for ways to improve procurement, including within the city itself, which is less about this. That's more of an internal city process. But as you know, there's a process going on about procurement currently to improve that within the city.
Great. No, that's wonderful. And then, and then I guess the last thing that I'll close this out with is I think, with regards to the next steps of engagement with our residents, I think it's imperative that in the way we do that, because that is going to lay the foundation for trust, that a lot of folks, quite frankly, don't think that we're delivering on the promise to provide good parks. I think there's and the limited dollars piece is something that I'm sensitive about, but I think we have to put our pants on one leg at a time and go to work every day and do the work that we can with the resources that we have, knowing that because residents are already overtaxed, as that property tax bill shows it. So in order for us to prove that we can manage their dollars efficiently, effectively, we have to be able to prove that with the resources that we currently have. And so that's my point in building trust. And so I appreciate the work that you all are doing. And again, it's tough, but hang in there. I can certainly appreciate it and see that you're doing what you can. Thanks.
Thanks, Councilmember. Appreciate those reflections. Let's go to Councilmember Kamei.
Thank you. I first and foremost want to acknowledge the really, really good work that the maintenance staff does. I know it's more work than they have time for or that you have FTEs for, but they're fabulous. I went out Friday with my new Parks Commissioner, Ashesh Singh, and we saw him at Hammond Park. I visited 6 parks. I thought I was going to do them all because I don't have that many, but I was only able to get to 6 on Friday. And I saw them at Hammond. I saw them at Starbird, and they're just really, really out there. They're working hard and really doing a great job. And, you know, I also want to recognize the volunteers and the program staffs for the volunteers. I don't know how they do it, but they have tons of people coming out wanting to do what they can for the parks. So I know that people love their parks. And, you know, I'm just wondering, you know, I looked at how LA County passed a landmark parks measure, and I'm wondering if we just don't go for it. And I do know that people love all of the recreation that's done by parks. And I mean, look at the Viva Calle, look at the Viva Parks, look at the movie nights. People really, really enjoy them. I mean, I know people who actually go around to all of the different events, right? I mean, they look forward to it. And so I'm wondering if a Parks and Recreation measure that would be sort of all-inclusive in everything that Parks does to be able to move it forward. And I would say that we have a lot of work to do in terms of communicating that to our community, in terms of what is available, how they're, you know, sort of like engaged in their own community park, and make it their own. But I think that it takes all of us, and thank you to all the advocates who are here today. I know you love parks too and want to see more. I'd love to see more, right? But I also think that we need to be a lot more proactive in getting out there and letting people know what's going on. As I was visiting the parks, we came across another parks commissioner, Larry Ames, and it's like, oh, he's on the trail. We're going to go on the trail with you, right? So I know that they're highly used, and I think that we just need to do more in terms of, I think that we just haven't gone out there, but I think that we can create some enthusiasm in each of our parks. I'm envious of some of the other council districts that have community centers, really nice community centers that we have to share, but that's okay, we can share. But I do think that overall people love their parks, and I think it's time that we get really serious and go in 2026, right? I don't know what timing is, you know, the best, but I think that we can be successful using some of this information that you presented today, but I think we need to just move it forward, but really start now in informing our communities, and they're enjoying it. I mean, I was not able to go to the Viva Calle this time, but I heard about it, and people loved it. They just love that stuff, right? So I think that there's a lot that Parks does, but I think that we marry the Parks and Recreation so that people know, hey, this comes from somewhere. This just doesn't happen by itself, and you know, be able to carry it forward, because I know that some people have asked me, well, we want more. Well, that costs money. But I think that we can generate some enthusiasm around this, but I think it's going to take all of us and a lot more enthusiasm, you know, sort of engaging the community. I see those volunteers, those young kids that come out, and they love it. So I really think that, you know, we can find our way to be successful. It's just going to take time and effort. So you can count me in.
Thanks, Councilmember. Appreciate that full-throated support for our parks. Let's go to Councilmember Salas.
I'll try to be I'll try to be brief. I want to tell you too, First of all, of course, thank you for what you do. Thank you for this report. Really appreciated. And I want to tell you that I've always believed that a great city has great parks. And at our base, I think we already have great parks. But I heard Avi say that we get a D+ in maintenance. And Councilmember Kamai, you said people love their parks. You know, I spent a lot of my time in downtown, St. James Park and Guadalupe River Park, and people want to love their parks. And I just wanted to point out, it's ironic, District 3 got $81 million in these park fees. District 5 got $1 million in park fees. But I went to Prush Park for the first time in about 10 years over the weekend. That's in District 5. It was beautiful. I couldn't believe it. And forget that it's got the best play structures and people want to be there. It was so well maintained. And then you pointed out that it has a full-time staff. How come that is? And how could we take some of that $81 million that's, I guess, only for capital, and really look at taking this wonderful foundation we have, which are these parks, the acreage we have, the rivers going through them, the creeks going through them, they're fabulous, but they need maintenance so bad, I don't think anyone really trusts us. Do you mind just telling us, how are you able to do that at Prush Park?
Well, it's a sacrifice. We move resources over, or we get a few new resources in a budget cycle, and we put them there. When we look at a park like Prush, or the Municipal Rose Garden, and places like that, they just need, if they're going to serve the people in any meaningful way, they need that daily TLC. They're big spaces that have a lot of maintenance needs. So we make a sacrifice and say, okay, that area needs extra, that area needs extra. A few years ago, we were able to get some budget and added extra people to the maintenance crew that serves downtown so they could focus a bit more on GRP, because it had just fallen so far off, right? You couldn't even find, for example, and I'm embarrassed to say this, but the Poon Sister City display was being overgrown with everything. It was being eaten by the forest next to it. So those things don't look that way anymore because we have people there, but obviously there's bigger challenges there than there are with Emma-Prush in terms of social issues. So we figured out a way to try to protect the investment we made there. Interestingly, even though it shows very little park trust fund in that district, that was done with a grant from the county, CNC money. That's us just cobbling together different pieces of money to try to do something in that park, which we consider the gem of the system over there. It's a beautiful park. We want to invest in it even more than we have. But we have many, many parks that we want to invest in more than we have. I think Avi wants to add something.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Councilmember, for that question. And John covered all of it, but there's one little extra nuance at Emma-Prush Farm Park that I do want to add into this conversation, and it's not fully unique to Emma-Prush, but it's Emma-Prush and maybe a little bit Lake Cunningham. We have a very small number of parks that have some built-in financial sustainability mechanisms. At Emma-Prush Farm Park, there's actually a gas station lease that contributes $130,000 that's fully restricted for investment into that park. So not only have we dedicated staffing to hold on to the investments we've made, but they have spending money. So they actually can maintain the buildings, they can maintain the restrooms, and it pays off because all of us have gone to park restrooms and, they're different. Some of them, I'll say this, one of our employees said the most amazing thing. He said that the new Emma-Prush Park restroom was the most beautiful restroom we ever saw when it was brand new. That isn't always the experience when you walk into a park restroom. We can be honest about that. But having that built-in dedicated funding stream absolutely pays off. And we have that at Lake Cunningham through the Calabunga, Raging Waters, lease payments. But we don't have it system-wide. We don't have those dedicated funding streams.
Okay. Thanks, Councilmember, for that question. Colleagues, any other questions or comments? Okay. Looks like we've exhausted the council's comments. Let's turn to public comment.
Okay, I'm going to call your name. You do not have to speak in the order you're called. Just come down to the microphone if nobody else is there and speak. You can sit on the front row where it says reserved as you wait your turn. So when you hear your name, go ahead and come on down. Sandra Asher, Ali Victorine, Deb Kramer, Scott Weber, and Viviana Barnwell. And
Tony, we may need to call some more names.
Yeah.
I see a few folks have had to
Yes.
leave, unfortunately.
I was just about to say that. I have Melissa, I think it looks like Gott Lopez,
Yep.
Helen Chapman, Jean Dresden, Lori, Sharon, and Michelle. Go ahead. That's everybody.
Ready? Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Allie Victorine, and I am the president of the D7 Leadership Group, representing 8 very active neighborhood associations. And we are very concerned about the $500 million maintenance backlog for our existing parks and the inequitable distribution of monies for capital improvements, which includes new parks, playgrounds, community centers, and trails. I'm also the lead for the Coyote Meadows Coalition, which is a urban park we hope to create somewhere in the future, but that future keeps getting pushed further and further off. That's all right. We'll get there. Parks are important to the well-being of the community, but parks that are not maintained have the opposite effect. And neighborhoods without parks do not have the same sense of community and health that other neighborhoods do. As a leader in D7, I know and understand the issues neighborhoods face when parks are not maintained or when communities lack access to parks. And it is not surprising that the areas in D7 that do not have neighborhood associations also do not have parks or meeting spaces. It is also not surprising that the neighborhood associations in D7 volunteer a lot of time cleaning and maintaining and advocating for our existing parks and also asking for our parks that have been promised. In fact, I spent 2 hours today at Solari Park weeding, and I'll be back there tomorrow watering. We're putting in a native plant garden in an area that couldn't be done without us. So we're very excited about this report, and we support these ideas, especially about creating new opportunities and innovating ideas to fund our parks. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker. I'd also like to call Bob Lurie to come on down.
Good evening. My name is Jean Dresden. I'm a longtime park advocate. And the report demonstrates that the current funding system's archaic, inequitable, and inadequate, with fewer FTEs from 20 years ago and an increase in acreage. It leads to an impossible situation. Our spending's so much lower than our competitive cities around the country, and that affects investment. When companies look at a community, they look at the whole package and what their employees will experience. When Los Angeles received the scathing report, "Does black and brown mean less green?" they started their listening program. And I heard about it, and I subscribed to their newsletters and their task force reports, because that's the kind of thing I do, and learned that the key to their listening program was that their council championed the process and facilitated it and made it easier for them to go out and do that work, to develop a master plan from listening to their people. The council champions are key. The other thing is, when you do polling, questionnaire design is key. The polling that we did in 2024 had a different design than the polling in January. And that questionnaire design changes the likelihood of the results. Making key decisions of polling means you should be looking at the actual questionnaire design, and it's never revealed. But now that so much of it comes by text and so much of us know that, we're now taking screenshots. I have January's questionnaire, and if you'd like to see it, I'd be happy to show it to you. And you can see how the study design was biased.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Sharon McCrae, and I helped plant the Heritage Rose Garden at Guadalupe in 1992, the same year I started volunteering at Prush. I'm telling you that because it's important. And as we're talking about revenue and income, you know, in your personal budgets, the first thing you do is say, where can we save money? We have a bloated administrative parks department on the 9th floor and they say there's no one to pick up garbage. There's 8 people here today. There are 9 park rangers for 210 parks. Do the math. I am not happy, and I am this was my presentation. This is it after listening to that presentation, the brief presentation from PRNS that took an hour and 15 minutes. I question the competency of the current administration at PRNS. They have chased the volunteers from Prush Farm Park Foundation away from the park. We contributed over $250,000 worth of volunteer time and our private revenue from our foundation to run that park. They've attacked the First Tee program at San Jose Muni Golf Course. They have run off the Police Activities League management of the PAL Stadium that Emma Prush herself signed the agreement for. I think we need to look closely at our spending at PRNS and get more guys and gals in the field right now.
Thank you. Next speaker. That's your time.
I was going to start off good afternoon. I think it's good evening. Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council. My name is Helen Chapman, member of Yes on San Jose Parks, former Park San Jose Commissioner, and yes, I worked on that CNC ballot measure language that just didn't get passed by council at that time, so hit me up if you want to see the background. Longtime advocate for parks and open space. Thank you, Councilmember Ortiz, for pushing this study session today. The numbers don't lie. We have a significant park maintenance backlog of $554 million and growing, and San Jose has dropped to 9th out of 12th largest cities for maintenance and capital funding in California. Yes on San Jose Parks stands with our Parks Department to help educate and engage our residents to work on this problem, but we need your help. Your leadership is critically needed to address this issue. We can't afford to kick the can any longer, especially when the last revenue measure for parks, trails, and community centers was 25 years ago. That's 2.5 generations. I want to acknowledge the excellent staff report that spells out the background on parks funding, outlines the hard work ahead of us. I also served on the Park Fee Task Force and was aware of the inequity of parks funding years ago, and I'm glad to see this information came before you today. Let's be honest, this will take hard work, especially if we want to get a revenue measure in front of San Jose voters. We owe it to the health and safety of our families and children. We owe it to our residents who need access to a public park, a place to gather outdoors, walk a trail, or take part in a program at their community center. No more excuses. It's time to roll up our sleeves, collaborate, and work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good evening. My name is Bob Levy, a former planning commissioner and parks commissioner, and wow, that was like drinking out of a fire hose, wasn't it? You guys did a great job on that report, and there's some things that became very clear when you looked at that report. One is that we love parks. We need parks. They play an important role in our city. The quality of life here depends on us having parks. The other issue is that the current model is not sustainable. It's not sustainable from a maintenance perspective. It's not sustainable from a purchasing of new parks perspective, mitigating the impacts of developments. We're still using 2017 numbers for purchasing property, for assessing property to purchase. And as they were saying, we give away 75% giveaway based on things like private recreational use, the credits, et cetera. And what we need to do is we need to be able to collect money for new development. It's inequitable at this point in time. Whenever we have a new resident and we don't build adequate parkland, all the existing residents suffer. And so the current model is terribly inequitable. We also have the problem with the over $500 million backlog. I sat on that fee study with Helen a few years ago, and 3 years ago, that backlog was $464 million. It's grown significantly, and it's going to continue to grow. And we know that during bad times, Parks suffers. During the Great Recession, Parks lost 40% of their staff and has never recovered. We're 20% below the level we were before the Great Recession, with 20% more parks. So we need to take care of the sustainable issue. We saw that the ballot measure numbers were not great, and so we have to take care of the problem inside the city. And we need a ballot measure, but we shouldn't be.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hopefully that mic is off when this one's on. My name is Michelle Mashburn. I'm a disability advocate and activist in Santa Clara County, but San Jose specifically, resident of D3. I want to say that eco-ableism is alive and well in San Jose, and it's a concept that we all need to become educated on. I don't see myself in the parks, and I rarely go to the parks because I know the various accessibility barriers that I will encounter. And these barriers, you know, especially at Emma Persh Park, isn't a good example of this. Materials that are used are uninformed. They fail to include a disability-informed lens, and that's what we need to work towards together with this city. Because when we get the disability-informed lens, we improve everything. All-inclusive playgrounds often fail because they focus on the equipment and not access. They're also not informed by people with disabilities. So we get young kids that are excited to go to an all-inclusive playground only to experience that they can't play on the slide that they want to play on. This is where ableism shows up. This is where ableism hurts us all. And, you know, these parks aren't just for the kids either. They're for older adults and seniors with disabilities that need the different services. But yet we can't even get people to be informed on those things. So you can't design for us without us. I want to know where the ADA transition plans are in all their different planning efforts. Where is it in your operations and maintenance? Is disability-informed accessibility even included in both, or are they not even really a plan? Don't design for us without us. Disabled people of all ages should be leading these conversations and not just reacting to them.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Do I have to press it? Okay. Hello. Thank you, Councilmember Ortiz, for bringing this important topic to discussion. Hello to the council and Mr. Mayor. My name is Melissa Gott Lopez. I am a resident of District 5, East San Jose, and I want to thank you all for the opportunity to speak today, and I appreciate the council's attention to reviewing funding methods for our park spaces and discuss ways to improve our funding methods. I'm here to express my support to prioritize our parks and ensure we continue to provide equitable solutions to new parks, providing improvements to our existing parks, and continually have a process and policy and a plan to regularly review and ensure our parks are still meeting the needs of our neighborhood residents. I'd also like to ensure that the city continues to prioritize safety and maintenance of our parks. We all agree that open outdoor spaces are important for our communities to gather, families to enjoy, and for our children to run and play, and it's obviously been a challenge with the current funding method. I'd also say that the challenge is that the current method is based on zip code or city council district. And the council now has the opportunity to rethink this model and ensure that all neighborhoods have high quality, beautifully maintained parks throughout our entire city and not just a few neighborhoods. I'd ask that the city council get down to the hard work and review the current funding model and create more equitable solutions so all San Jose residents can enjoy our outdoor spaces regardless of where they live. Thank you all for your time, and thank you for the important work.
I don't.
We have at least one more
Yes.
card. Come on down.
And I have called all of the cards.
Okay. If anyone else was hoping to speak, please come on down and we'll take you next.
Good evening, Council. My name is Henry Song. I am a longtime parks user here in San Jose. Most notably, in the last 4 years, I've paid into the parks reservation system, reserving tennis courts for large group events. And I've made a lot of good friends, frenemies, heated rivals through recreational league matches, and I've enjoyed my time here in San Jose despite not living here. But the one thing that I have to say, and forgive me for coming down your road too hard on this, is with the passage and your adoption of the Columbus Park proposal today, it's abundantly clear to me that some of your residents and perhaps special interest groups seem to have more input and have greater access to you personally through casual or personal relationships to push for their policy preferences. I know that as a park user that I have to pay into the system to reserve tennis courts, but other activities, for example, pickleball, seems to have jumped ahead of other recreational priorities and have not paid into the city's system. And that's fundamentally inequitable and for a city that thrives on inclusion and diversity, paying into the system where every sport and activity uses the park system, they have to pay into the maintenance and the resources to keep the park system going. Just as an example, take District 4, the Cataldi Park, the court conditions there on the tennis court are just criminally bad. You're one bad ankle away from potentially tripping on the court, yet the pickleball courts were built there last September without much resistance. And don't get me started on Bakesto Park. The one time I did have to use the restroom there, I instantly regretted it. So these are some of the I think, the lack of inattention to the
Thank you. That's your time. I'm going to say next speaker, if there's anybody else who wants to come on down. I'm
Okay.
seeing no movement, so back to council.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Once again, want to thank the city staff for all the work you do to provide parks, recreation, many valuable activities for the community, access to nature and community building. And while this was a sobering picture, I think it's valuable to have the deep dive and all the context. Thanks to everybody for hanging in here, all the good questions, and look forward to discussing next steps soon. Thank you. And we are adjourned.